Hi there, I am one dodgy dude. Welcome to my scene-by-scene analysis of episode 4. This right here is a transition scene. Its main reason for being is to serve a mechanical function, specifically to introduce Luke and get the droids to him, thus allowing his adventure to begin. However, a scene should never be so blatant about its purpose. Humor can mask the mechanical nature of a scene quite well, but an emotional angle works better. That is why we have a shorter version of the "will the droids be separated" misbalance from the previous scene. Is it repetitive? Yes and no. The idea is a retread, but the emotional element is played out more strongly here. In the previous scene, there was the added misbalance of whether the droids would find a safe place outside the desert. That's a practical concern, not an emotional one. Now that a safe place is at hand, there's only the emotional concern to focus on. The resolution may be predictable, but better that than the more contrived scenario of Luke getting the two droids in one go. Whenever a scene is in danger of seeming too mechanical, draw on either humor or an emotional misbalance. Before moving on, notice how so far the droids' adventures have functioned as a standalone short story? Because there are so many lingering misbalances, it is useful to have one finished story to prove that the movie is capable of delivering resolutions. This approach came in handy in both sequels. The Indiana Jones movies did the same thing too, starting off each film with an introductory short story that was mostly independent from the rest of the movie. Apart from securing the audience's trust, these stories put the adventurous segments ahead of any scenes featuring the characters' ordinary lives, thus guaranteeing an engaging start. The more obvious that the outcome of an emotional scene is, the stronger that emotion has to be in order to work. The burden of success is on the characters. In this case, R2, as he is the one being left behind. He conveys the sadness with a very minimalistic approach to motion and sound. In this manner, the character elicits enough sympathy without turning exceedingly cutesy. Too much sugariness in a character can pass off as an actual personality, but it is a very cheap and uncreative shot. Not that it doesn't work. In fact, people by and large eat it up and ask for seconds and thirds. The problem is that not everyone will buy into the cutesiness, and they may feel such a character is trying too hard to be liked, so they may resent the storyteller for wasting their time with an avatar of cutesiness instead of a well-developed character. Therefore, characters who come on too strong with their expressions may be nice for grabbing attention, but they could also be a lazy shortcut to character creation. On a different note, let's discuss Trivia. He may come off as a bit cowardly or selfish in this scene, given that he seems willing to walk out on R2. Bear in mind that it is not a sign of cowardice or evil. A character like this is useful in a story of heroism because it shows the category under which many of us fall, neither heroic nor villainous, but just someone trying to get by. It isn't a sin to feature characters who don't change throughout the story, but it would be a waste not to have them at least represent an aspect of the dominating theme. Exposition doesn't have to be very creative, but it should happen organically. Its primary purpose is to present the fictional world in a manner that avoids confusion and doesn't break immersion. For example, going just by visual cues and character behavior, anybody would assume Owen is Luke's father. That is why this line from Aunt Beru is important. If it is revealed only later that these two are his uncle and aunt, the audience will feel confused, maybe even cheated, and that can lead to a loss of trust in the storyteller. So this bit of exposition, apparently insignificant in the grand scheme of things, is essential. Now is a good time to bring up an important aspect of world building: choosing names. It helps to ground a fictional setting with familiar or simple names such as Luke, Han, or Leia. Even Obi-Wan is referred to as Ben more often than not. Game of Thrones did the same by giving its characters contemporary sounding names or nicknames, like Ned, Jon, Robb, Bran, or Dany. Same with Dune, Paul, Jessica, Vladimir, or Duncan. This is not to say more unusual names like Frodo or Gandalf can't work for main characters. They can achieve staying power as well. But do take under consideration the power of simpler, more familiar names. As much as I criticize The Force Awakens, even I have to compliment the story for giving its main characters simple names. If you found the video useful, please share it, subscribe, and if you want to help the channel, consider donating through Patreon. This has been one dodgy dude telling you, go write a great story.